Imagine a life filled with blessings, a man with everything, immense wealth, a loving family, and a reputation for being truly good. This was Job, a man who loved God above all else. But what happens when that perfect world is shattered? When life throws you challenges you never expected? Discover the profound lessons of faith, surrender, trust, and resilience during this heart-wrenching story of Job, the man who lost everything. We encourage viewers to engage respectfully with the content and explore their own faith journeys. In the land of Uz lived a man named Job. He was known far and wide for his honesty, his devotion to God, and his hatred of evil. He was blessed with a large family, 7 sons and 3 daughters, and more wealth than anyone, owning 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 donkeys, and servants as far as the eye could see. In fact, he was the most important man in all the East. His sons used to throw parties at their homes and always invited their 3 sisters to celebrate with them. After the parties, Job would get up very early and offer a sacrifice for each of his children because he thought perhaps one of them had sinned. Despising God in his heart, Job constantly offered sacrifices in case any of his children had committed sin. One day, a gathering took place in the heavens. Angels came to present themselves before God, and among them was Satan, the accuser. God asked Satan, "Where have you been?" Satan replied, "Roaming the earth, seeing how things are." Then God said something special. "Have you noticed my servant Job? There's no one on earth like him. He's honest, true to his word, devoted to me, and hates evil." Satan replied, "So the Lord thinks that Job is like this out of pure goodness of heart. Well, no one is that good. The Lord spoils him like a child, takes care of everything so that no harm comes to him, his family, or his wealth, and even blesses everything he does. So who would not be faithful? But what would happen if you took everything he has? Surely he would curse the Lord openly without a shadow of a doubt." The Lord replied, "Very well, then we will see. Go ahead. Do whatever you want with everything he has, just don't hurt him." Then Satan left the presence of the Lord. Sometime later, while Job's sons were gathered at the eldest house for another feast, a messenger came running to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing the land and the donkeys were grazing in the field near us when the Sabaeans attacked. They stole the animals and killed all the workers. I am the only one who survived to tell what happened." The man was still speaking when another messenger arrived and said, "Lightning fell from the sky and struck down the sheep and the shepherds. I am the only one who survived to tell what happened." He had not finished speaking when another messenger arrived with more news. 3 groups of Chaldeans came and attacked the camels and massacred the laborers. I am the only one who survived to tell what happened while he was still speaking. Another messenger arrived and said, "Your sons were having a feast at their eldest brother's house when a hurricane came from the desert and destroyed the entire house. The young men were struck and killed. I am the only one who survived to tell what happened." Job stood up, tore his clothes, shaved his head, and threw himself on the ground there prostrate. He praised God. "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return to the bosom of the earth. The Lord gives, the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord forever." Even though he was struck by so much misfortune, Job did not sin or blame God for anything. One day, when the angels came to give an account to the Eternal, Satan also appeared. The Eternal looked at Satan and asked, "And you, where have you been?" Satan answered the Eternal, "I have been everywhere to see how things were on earth." The Eternal said, "There is no one like Job. He is an honest man who is true to his word, totally consecrated to God and who hates evil. How upright he is. You even tried to destroy him, but it didn't work." Satan answered, "A man would do anything to save his own life, so what would happen if you took his health? He would certainly curse the Lord openly without a shadow of a doubt." The Eternal said, "Very well, then we will see. Go ahead, you can do whatever you want to him, but be careful. Careful not to take his life." Satan left the presence of the Eternal and attacked Job with a terrible disease. Job was covered in sores from head to toe. They itched and hurt so much that he took a piece of broken pottery to scrape the sores while sitting in the ashes. Then his wife said, "And you still maintain your integrity? Curse God and end it at once." But he replied, "You don't know what you are talking about. Have you lost your mind? Woman, we receive good things from God. Why should we not receive bad things as well?" And despite everything, Job did not sin. News of Job's suffering reached his three friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. They decided to go and comfort him. When they saw him, they could barely recognize him. Their friend was so changed by suffering. They wept with him, tore their clothes, and sat with him on the ground for 7 days and 7 nights, in silence. They saw how much he was suffering. Finally, Job broke his silence. His heart was heavy with pain, and he spoke out his anguish. Job poured out his soul, questioning why he had to suffer so much. Then his friends began to speak. Job's journey was far from over. Would his faith hold? What would God say? His friends believed that Job's suffering must be a punishment for some hidden sin. They told him, "If you're suffering this much, you must have done something wrong. Confess your sins and God will restore you." They meant well, but their words added to Job's pain. Job knew he hadn't done anything to deserve this. He was righteous. Job was heartbroken and confused. He cried out to God, asking why this was happening. He didn't understand why a just God would allow such terrible things to happen to him. He questioned his friends' explanations and longed for an answer from God himself. And then, in a powerful whirlwind, God answered Job. He didn't explain why the suffering happened, but he reminded Job of his immense power and wisdom, things far beyond human understanding. Job was humbled by God's majesty. He realized that he couldn't fully understand God's plans. He repented of his questioning and put his complete trust back in God, even in the midst of his pain. And because of Job's unwavering faith and perseverance, God restored him completely. He healed Job's body, gave him twice as much livestock and wealth as before, and blessed him with a new family. Job lived a long and happy life, filled with blessings. The story of Job is a powerful reminder that even when we don't understand why bad things happen, we can still trust in God's plan. It teaches us about the importance of perseverance, the limits of human understanding, and the incredible power of faith. Even in the darkest times, there is always hope when we put our trust in God. No matter what you're facing today, remember Job's story. Remember that even after the deepest darkness, there can be a beautiful new beginning. If this story inspired you, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need a little hope. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing Bible stories brought to life with colorful animation. Click on one of the videos on your screen to keep the adventure going.